Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Trails the Third. We are still in the room where we... Did we steal it back or just acquired the artifact of... I think his name was Conrad, which used that artifact to probably make all the money he had. So, right now, I think we are attempting to escape the scene, but hopefully without being caught. But with how strong Kevin is, because look at this door, I think we should be able to get out of here. The doors are locked. This way must lead to the first class rooms. No doubt I'd find some pretty interesting stuff in there, but I'd better not right now. No, he needs to focus on the mission, and that is artifact acquirement. The rest is not important. Are you sure you want to attack me? Because even with this amount of damage they're doing, there's no way in hell they could defeat me. Oh well, as long as they give me some items and stuff, that would be more than okay.
Still a ways to go.
Insulting tape times 2. Alright. So the couple isn't here anymore? So where do we go to get off the ship? Really? Archaisms on a Rhineford ship? That's actually suspicious, isn't it?
Let's end this.
Really cool. Yeah, I think they said that was the attack that he used on the door in the scene in the last episode, which I thought was looking really cool. Really? So the 7th round didn't show us actually dropping that? Because usually when something like that happens, even if it doesn't take away Sepet from us, it does show so in the animation. Oh, that's a nice little detail. See? No Sepet loss. Could also mean that maybe he doesn't have any. Because the enemies here aren't giving us anything. Ah, we can tell. Can we do it? Oh, we can.
Still a ways to go.
And there is that little extra bit. Do we want to heal a little bit? Might as well. What's going on here? We're not gonna crash, are we? You wouldn't fall out of the air on me, would you, Lusitania? Oh, poor guy. He missed his chance to run away. There is something familiar about him. But, well, I just leave him alone. Do we go to the hall or back to the main area? 'Cause to be honest, oops, I didn't mean to get turned around. We could do a Gralsritter. Support. Big recovery, single attack. Yeah, why not? Only one? Oh, I thought both redheads would definitely be going down. Yeah, don't overuse your skills.
Alright, what's next?
Oops, get it together, Kevin. Yeah, but I want to go everywhere beside the right way. Come on. Because if you go in the wrong direction, there's a chance you get extra items. Well, you do have to hand it to them. They are very persistent. Even though the chance of them actually coming out on top is almost non-existent. I wonder if when we get to the end, there's gonna be an actual challenge. Even so, this is the prologue, so I'm pretty sure they're not gonna give me something that can actually kill me. After the prologue though, then all bets are off.
Take that! Take that! Alright, what's next?
Everything is locked, like they knew we were coming. Protect all the passengers. There you are. On the name of the Northern Jaegers, we won't let you go any farther. So you really are an active Jaeger corps, and a pretty famous one to boot. Still, I get stuff's rough going for your country and all, but I couldn't ask you to just, I don't know, step aside? How dare you? What do you know about the hardship endured by our people? We won't allow ourselves to be shamed with defeat here, not as long as we suffer. I should have known. Okay then, I'll come at you with all I've got. Is there any chance that I could take that critical? Nope. And his S-craft is not attack-wise, so it doesn't do me anything to just take it over.
Let's end this.
Yeah, that's a nice location. Just all get nice stuck together. Yo, perfect. It's like you wanted everyone to get hit by me.
Let's end this.
Alright, this does use normal attacks to the last couple of bits.
Take that! Alright, what's next?
And a level up, so all our EP are recovered as well. Oh, what the hell is that commotion? We believe there is an intruder, sir. And a competent one at that. Ooh, an intruder? And just what do you think I paid good Mira to hire you for? I don't care if he's alive or full of holes. Just get rid of him. Ah, getting me dead or alive is too much to ask for those guys. And who the hell are you? Wait, a priest? No. Yeah, I figured with something like this in your possession, you'd at least have heard of us. How dare you? Give that back, that's mine. Wrong answer. This belongs to the goddess, and it needs to be rightfully returned to her. It's not something mere mortals like you should be keeping for themselves. Kill him! Kill him and get back my locket now! Herman Conrad, in accordance with the laws of the church and in the name of Eidos, I am placing you under arrest. You stand charged with the unauthorized possession of and illegal use of an artifact. Don't you think you can get away with this? You might be with the church, but I am in line for director if you lay a hand on me. Oh, don't worry, we cleared this with the big guys already. I'm sure you've got a pretty good idea of just how recklessly you've been acting with this thing, right? You've been causing a whole lot of trouble for a whole lot of people, you know? Guys like you have a habit of making themselves no shortage of enemies, and you've done a stellar job of that. So, just accept that your luck has run out and come quietly, okay? No. No! Ugh. You just couldn't make this easy for me, could you? So much for this being a piece of cake. Catching guys like this alive is more like trying to sneak off with the whole damn thing. Stop it right there. Aww, you pulled out all the stops for just little old me. And now I get you guys are so popular. That's some quick work getting all dolled up and ready to take me down. Silence! You might have had your way before, but that's not how it's gonna be this time. And just so you know, there's an entire company of us on this ship. Even if you have a hostage you can use against us, you have got nowhere to run. Well, we're all lucky boys and girls today, huh? What? What are you talking about? If this idiot here had been branded a heretic, I would have had to hunt each and every one of you down to the last member. What? What's up with this guy? Well, don't let it get to you. Keep up the good work for your homeland or whatever. Just don't go giving us a reason to slaughter you in the process. What the? I gotta admit, pretty darn cool. Impossible! Those Gralsritter are monsters. That's the guy we saw in the last episode. There's a shadow behind him. That was quite a splendid show. But our tale is only just beginning, Kevin Graham. Ooh. After all, I have only just awoken. So, a spirit? A monster? The official intro, Trills the Third. New characters, new stories, new adventures. I have heard that the story is a little bit different than you expect normally from a Trails game, but it's still very, very good. I will see. Because no matter what, we're gonna play this from beginning to end like we always do. I do get a feeling like Kevin is more the protagonist in this one. As long as all our old friends come back, I'm more than happy. And yes, I did see Ren there. Did I see someone that I've seen on pictures of Cold Steel? Huh. Ah, his own personal ship. At least I bet it is. Septian Church, Gralsritter operated special ops airship. Merkaba number 5. Congratulations on completing your operation, sir. My thoughts exactly. That seems to be a rather easy one for you in the end too. Well, compared to what they're usually like, it was. If it had been a little bit more time, I could have enjoyed some private time with a real gem of a woman too. But I'll have to settle for crying myself to sleep tonight. Oh, not this again. Unless you want another earful from the commander, you might want to start taking your work more seriously. I know. Lighten up a little, yeah? I swear, I never get how you hard-headed types end up assigned to a slacker like me. This may come as a shock, but you are a Dominion, you know. We could very well have you acting alone without any form of backup. As long as you are here and the ship is under your command, then slacker or not, we're here too. Even then, you've got a lot less squires in your service than you should have. Maybe you should take this chance to gather up a few more. I think I'm just gonna have to pass. It'll just make it even harder for me to work on my own. I thought you'd say that. We prefer it if you were actually trust us to help you a little more, sir. I mean, all we can do in that salt pill operation was transport the thing. You say as if transporting it isn't a huge responsibility in itself. After all, the last thing we wanted was him catching wind of it and becoming wary of us. Is something wrong? Oh, not a thing. Anyway, as per original plan, we need to get ourselves back to Arteria ASAP. We should be able to reach there by noon tomorrow? Or today now, I guess. Got it. Where's it from? Arteria, apparently. It's a call from Commander Selnut. Ah, are you kidding me? Getting a call from her right after a mission is always a bad sign. Let's get this over with. Put her through. Alright. Evening, Kevin. It sounds like you did well. Fill me in on the details. Well, it basically went without issue. The artifact was the Fool's Locket. There were signs of society involvement, but it looks like they cut any ties with him a long time ago. I see. As I thought then. Good work all around. I'd say you deserve a well-earned rest, but unfortunately, I can't grant you one right now. And here we go. Is something the matter? Oh, I'm just dandy. Please, continue. Well then, as much as I hate to spring this on you immediately after finishing one mission, I've got something I'd like you to do for me. Regarding a heretic, I assume? Oh no, not this time. All I want you to do is pick something up. The object in question is currently being held underneath Grancel Cathedral. Grancel? Do you think this objective may be somehow related to the Aureole? It's a distinct possibility. Can I continue to handle it? Alright. That said, we've already got one artifact on the ship that needs transporting back, so I'll let the crew here take that to Arteria. I'll handle things to Liberl on my own. That is fine with me. Oh, incidentally, you won't actually be alone. I've dispatched a rookie squire to aid you. They'll be serving you from now on, so do play nice, won't you? Wait a minute. Wait, just 1 minute. You can't just spring a rookie on me out of nowhere like that. Meetings ordained by the Godess always come suddenly and unannounced. Don't worry though. They won't be a burden. The ability they demonstrated during training were truly something special. Well, I will be praying for your success. Well, congratulations on the new recruit. We were only just saying how you could do with more squire serving you. And I was so not down. I can't believe this. She never changes, I swear. Oh, if all the people reading that book had any idea what a hellion she is in real life. Oh, Cornelia? I always wondered whether publishing it was such a good idea, to be honest. It's a complete advertisement saying we exist to the world. Well, if anything, I'd say a book that, well, just serves to make people less likely to believe we really exist. And then the heroine died in it, which obviously is a big fat lie. If it actually met her, they'd know she's the kind of woman who would probably take a bullet to the head and ask for a cigarette first thing. Well, I think we should probably refrain from commenting here. Anyway, you guys heard her? I'm gonna leave taking care of everything else relating to our mission to you guys. Just follow the money trail there. Might still be hidden accounts we don't know about. Understood, sir. What will you be doing from here? We'll need to return to Arteria, obviously, but we can drop you off somewhere. You can put me down in any old state we pass on the way there. Preferably near a town that was international flights going out of it, I guess. Got it. Oh, it looks like the sun is starting to come up. Sailing straight into the sun. Yeah, I'm guessing that the item under the church will be that cube we saw falling in the intro scene. And that intro scene cube we saw is related to that guy we saw on the Lusitania. That says, oh, I've just been released. So the explosion of the Aureole dropped that cube down, which may have been guarded, imprisoned there. And when it fell on the ground, he resurrected itself. Alright. Very wild theory based on absolutely nothing than 2-second clip in that intro. But it's not a bad theory. Someday afternoon. In the skies of Mist Mestran, Zemeria, roughly 500 sails from Liberl. Ah, some old friends? I can already hear one thing. Dorothy? Has to be, no one takes that many pictures. Aww, they've gone out of sight now. I wonder if they're busy migrating. It looks like they can't help but keep up with the ship though. I guess not every bird can be as fast as Zeke. But they were just the cutest. Huh, well, will you look who it is? Oh, I know you. It really is you. Long time no see, Dorothy. I sure wasn't expecting to run into you here. Funny coincidence, huh? It really is. It's good to see you again too, huh? Father? Oh, you don't remember my name, do you? Don't be silly. Of course I do. It's, Oh, I remember. It's Onion Graham. Well, pretty close. Just because he has a green top doesn't mean he's like an onion. Oh, but of course, how lucky I am to have been named after such a multi-purpose plant. Doesn't even my name, Dorothy. You really did forget, didn't you? And yet you somehow managed to remember my last name like it was nothing. I was just being silly. A couple of days ago I had this amazing onion hotpot over in the eastern quarter in Calvert. So I've still got onions on the brain. I couldn't believe a hot pot with just onions in it could taste so good, but I swear it did. It was so comforting and sweet. So that's how I ended up saying onion instead of your name. Well, whatever. So, if you insist you haven't forgotten, what is my name then? Oh, I do insist. I'd never forget. It's lovely to see you again, Jasmine Graham. But of course, how lucky I am to have been named after such a fragrant plant. That might be an actual name this time, but it's a woman's name. Is she messing with him? If so, I would definitely respect that. Oh, I see. So you're here to carry out a follow-up investigation on all that trouble that happened earlier the year. Well, that's about the gist, yeah. Come to think of it, how do you end up on an international liner like this? You said you were in the Eastern Quarter, right? Were you there to write about it for the Liberl news? Yep. And now actually let me go on my own this time too. Wow, that was daring of him. I'm not sure I'd want to let you handle traveling abroad for a report alone. Then again, it's only by taking one position of responsibility that people can properly grow. Oh, I'm doing plenty of that. I mean, I wasn't sure what I'd do when I ended up in Calvert instead of Bose Market, but I managed just fine. Wait a sec. Niall told you to go to Bose, not Calvert? He sure did. But then I got on this airship, fell asleep, and before I knew it, I was chilling out in Calvert capital. Weird, huh? Well, it sounds like you got on the wrong airship to me. Let my brain catch up. So, you were in a republic for literally days? When you weren't even supposed to be there at all? Did you even have enough money to manage? Or, ideas help us, a passport? Well, fortunately, there was someone from the Liberalian embassy at the airport who could issue me a temporary passport, so that was okay. And then tons of people were really nice to me and helped while I was there, so I had all the dough a girl could ask for. I don't even know where to start. Niall must be worried sick about you, huh? You think? Well, he didn't sound so hot when I called yesterday that I said I'd be coming back to the office today. He kept telling me that all that smoking is bad for him, but he never listens. I don't think you can pin the crime on tobacco this time, Missy. Thank you for all for taking the journey abroad, the Gretna, today. We'll be arriving at our terminal, Grancel City, in roughly 30 minutes. We ask that you take this chance to check that you have all your belongings with you to return to your seats before we begin our landing. Until then, please enjoy the remainder of your flight. Whew, sounds like we're almost there. I'm gonna have a walk around the ship to kill some time for the last half hour. How about you? I'm not sure. I suppose I might as well go and snap some more photos. It's not often I get to take an international liner like this. Sounds like a plan. See you later then. Later. Yeah, a local resident airhead and wonderful personality. Did you hear the announcement, sir? If not, we'll be soon arriving in Grancel City. So it might be wise to check you have all of your belongings on your person while you still have time to look for anything that is missing. Oh, my sister can be unbelievably stubborn sometimes. How am I supposed to enjoy sightseeing when she's being like this? No, I'm not budging on this. We are going to the Aureole Villa after Grancel Castle, and that's final. I can't believe you actually consider just going around fishing of all things. Well, if we have the opportunity, we might as well. I'm not really very good at heights. I mean, it's not a phobia level or anything, but I'm really not very good with them. Whew, that was one amazing business discussion. I never thought I'd see the day when Murano would have the upper hand on one, but it just happened. And the world is full of surprises. No, you can't. Please sit down like a good girl. We're almost there now anyway, so be quiet. Mommy, can I go have a look outside? Can I? I used to be a sailor back in the day, but now I always use airships to get around. They're way faster than boats for one thing, and unlike Aureole buses, you don't end up being a sore ass after a long journey either. The bargainer really knew how to put up a good fight for someone so young. Still, I've got an excellent information dealer working for me too. So the next time we do business is going to be a 6-4 deal in my favor. No, scratch that. 7-3. I do wonder if Murano did follow through with that acquisition of the orchard. Because last time she went to look there was just one tree left and the rest was all saplings. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Revno village orchard after that got burned down by Ragnar. Ah, yes! I'm finally almost in Liberl. Why did it come, you ask? Because it's the last spot that ancient dragon was sighted. There's no information on where it went after it. Showed up here, so if you want to try and pursue it, this is the best place for me to come. As soon as we land, I need to go and talk to Lyndon to see if he knows anything. Ah. That was not our archaeologist, right? I think that was one of the scientists that had a few jobs for us. Did I think so? I'm off to see my grandchild in Grancel. We haven't seen another 3 years now. I've been really worried with all the trouble that's been happening in Liberl. Ah, the cleaning staff for these airships really do a splendid job, don't they? They are a fine role model for the rest of the service industry. Anyway, first thing is stopping by the central factory in Zeiss. There's no better place to learn about cutting-edge Aureole tech than there. I'm gonna really have to make the most of it. Really. Oh, don't be getting yourself too worked up now, man. You'll end up screwing up even more like usual. I don't even want to be here right now. Why do I even have to go out of my way to see him anyway? It's not fair. Alright, the Aureole pressure looks perfectly normal. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have to ask you not to come down here, sir. Yeah, just give me a small little watch and I'll be right out of your hair. Why do you want to know what I wanted to be as a child to begin with? That's not really something you normally tell complete strangers with cameras in their hands, you know? Oh, I'm on to you, mister. You can't distract me. This is a serious news report here, so please answer my questions. She sure is making good use of those reporter privileges. We're approaching the Begun range. Be careful of potential air turbulence in this area. I know. I've been doing this route for 3 years now. I know what I'm doing, man. Heading west-northwest. Yoo-hoo! Well, as you can say, he's enthusiastic about his job. We're finally back home in Liberl. Which means it's time to start thinking of getting a house for ourselves. What kind of house would you like? Ah, the two of the wedding. Well, the two of us has to spend the past half a year traveling all around the continent. I could have wished for a better honeymoon. I'm so glad I chose him to spend my life with. My wife went back to her family home. I mean, I'm as aware as anyone that I've been so busy with work lately that I haven't been able to spend any time with her, but if I'd known it was going to come to this, I would have sat down and talked to her about it a long time ago. Wee! Being out here feels amazing. Alright, that should be it. Yeah! This is a passenger announcement. We'll soon be arriving in Grancel City, the terminus of this liner. We suggest that all passengers return to their seats as soon as possible, as the airship might be unsteady during landing. Ah, it's so lovely to be back here again. The Republic was a wonderful place too, but you can't beat the air here in Liberl. You wouldn't believe all the stuff happened a half year ago looking at Grancel now. Either it's all completely back to normal. The people here sure are strong for what's usually such a peaceful country. Well, it's a country ruled by a queen. Everyone knows women are tough in the face of adversity. Hey, I'm not sure whether you're a perfect example of that or the opposite. You're right about the air here, though. It is nice. Nostalgic almost. Made me feel a little homesick. Well, your home is in Aureole, right? The place with all the really big churches and stuff. Nah, I'm not actually from Aureole. Not many people are. It's actually pretty darn small, like. Smaller than most states around the continent. It is where the high seat of the Septian Church is, so lots of pilgrims and clergymen gather there. But a few are actually born there. Oh really, huh? So, where are you from then? Dorothy. Oh, Niall. I'm home. Did you miss me? Did I miss you? Of course I missed you. What in Io's name have you been doing? I sent you to Bose. How did you end up in Kelford? You were definitely on the westbound liner, I'm sure of it. I really don't know. Oh, wait. I might actually know. Go on. Spit it out. Well, I bet I'm a sleepwalker. After I got on the right airship, I fell asleep and then sleepwalked onto the wrong one. To think that all of this could turn out to be a part of some elaborate murder plot. Well, all of a sudden I feel like I've walked right into a mystery novel. Ah, sleepwalkers don't change airships, you idiot. I'm all out of breath now. Are you alright? I really do think you should cut down on your smoking. You're not as young as you used to be, you know. Alright, your 30th birthday was last Friday too, wasn't it? Happy birthday! I brought a cake over in Kelford and had a big celebration for it too. How is it you can remember? Useless crap like that and not the things that actually matter. I bet you were just looking for an excuse to eat cake all by yourself, weren't you? You should have seen it, Niall. It was made with Eastern matcha, and it was unlike any cake I'd ever seen. Its perfect blend of sweetness and bitterness was just sublime. I took lots and lots of cute pictures of it, so I'll show you them later. You brought me pictures of a cake? At least bring back a souvenir. Man, they always felt like they could go into business as a comedy duo and actually make money of it. But they're even more of a crack up now. Hey, wait a second. Nice to meet you again, Niall. You're looking same old, though maybe you're not so happy about that. Ah, what are you doing here? Please tell me she didn't end up going to Aureole and causing trouble there too? Your wish is my command. We just ran into one another on the airship by total coincidence, that's all. Ah, good. You had me worried for a minute. I was scared stiff she'd gone and smashed some super expensive stained glass windows in the cathedral there. Or who knows what. Oh, I'm so sorry for what you have to put up with. Psst, you're too much of a worrywart. Whose fault do you think that is? Still, it's good to see you again, Father. What brings you to Liberl? Something else happen here? Oh, just a bit of work-related business I've got to take care of. It's not part of a major investigation, so don't go getting your hopes up. Nothing of interest gonna happen. I'll be the judge of that. Anyway, so you were staying here for the time being? Grancel Cathedral? I'll have to drop by and say hi sometime when I get a chance. Go for it. In the meantime, I'm dragging your butt right back to the office, Dorothy. You're going to tell us all about what the hell you've been doing this past 2 weeks. You betcha. I snapped photos of every meal I had while I was in Kelford, so I'm sure if we'll develop them, I'll be able to remember everything. I'm not talking about your gourmet reports. Don't ever change, you two. Phew, seeing those two together really makes it sink in I'm back here. Thinking about it, I wonder how all the others here are doing. I know Estelle and Joshua are abroad at the moment, but I've got no idea what the others are up to. Is that you, Father Graham? Ah. Lieutenant Colonel Sid. It's good to see you again. I'm pleased to see you've been keeping well since we last met at the banquet. Ah, same to you, sir. I've got to say, I wasn't expecting you to be the army representative who came to meet me, though. I'd figured it'd be Julia. Well, it may have been, but she's currently out on another mission, so unfortunately, you'll have to make do with me. I didn't have anything better to do, so I came in her place. There's no need to be so modest. A little bird told me that you're going to be promoted to full-on colonel soon, aren't you? Well, I shouldn't be surprised that your people have such a good information network, but I still am. Still, I'm afraid I still feel the position is too much responsibility for me as I am. Brigadier General Bright still has plenty of work left in him too. I wouldn't want to take any of it away from him. Poor Cassius is still getting work to the bone, huh? Anyway, getting down to business. It's in Grancel Cathedral, right? That's correct. It's being kept underneath it, to be more specific, although I imagine you're already aware of that much. I hear a layman like myself can't even enter it without the knight's permission. Pretty much. It's a special place, you see. I'll fill you in on the details when we get there. Alright then. Well, we may as well head there right away. There is someone I want you to meet in the cathedral. Who? Let's just say, someone who's been assisting with this case. They'll be apprising you of all the details on what you're dealing with here. Let me guess. The squire. Do we see anybody new? Well, the door has at least been repaired. The fishing guild, where we can get a new fishing rod. I'm sure we have to start over again. Ah, there you are. Oh, it's good to see you again, Archbishop. You look very well. And you must be... wasn't expecting you to be quite this young. How old are you? Well, 22, but... that's a lot younger than I expected. Are you the Gralsritter really so short-staffed that they're handing out the most important post to kids? You can't blame me for assuming the 5th Dominion would look like more of a veteran, can you? Your surprise is written all over your face. Someone in my position should have much better poker face than that. Maybe you need to redo your training from scratch? Or are you just acting, I wonder? How do you... Professor Russell, please. Hey, isn't there for you to try and pick a fight with him? Please try and be a little less deliberately provocative. What? That's Tita's mom? Damn. Pretty good breed. She looks really nice. Hell no. He's here to steal the thing we went through so much effort to bring up, and you want me to play nice? And kindly don't call me that ever again. I don't want to be addressed in the same way as that old coot. Of course, ma'am. Wait. Russell? Then you are... Well, I suppose I should introduce myself. I am Erica Russell. I'm sure it's not a name you're going to be forgetting anytime soon. Still, I sure didn't expect to run into a little Tita's mother here. I heard you and your husband were both living abroad. What brought you back? What do you think? After all that went down here, there was no way I was staying out of the country any longer than I had to. Though, with how remote the region we were in is, it was all over by the time the word reached us. Had we found out sooner, I sure would have let that maniac pull half the crap he did. Doesn't sound like you're too happy with the professor nowadays, huh? Oh, talk about an understatement. That whack job actually took my little girl to that floating city with him. I get that he's soft towards her, but that's no excuse for exposing her to danger. That's fair. And if it isn't bad enough, he let that red hat scumbag get near her too. That other cretin isn't fit to be within 50 arch of my darling Tita, never mind actually getting friendly with her. So, you don't like a git, huh? Oh, don't you speak that filthy name in front of me ever again. Oh, when I'm finished with him, he'll wish he'd never been born. He might have survived that last onslaught, but we'll see how he fares against an even more powerful unit, won't we? I get the feeling this is a matter we're better off not prying into. I thought the same, so I don't know any more about it than you do. Incidentally, Professor Russell you're more familiar with is currently vacationing abroad. As such, she has been assisting us with this case in his place. Ah, I see. Are you two listening to me? Of course. Well, whatever. This staircase sure is long though. How much farther do we have to go? Not much as far as I know. Yep, there we go. The never-ending spiraling staircase. For as long as we need to read all the messages. Dead end? Oh, I hope you've got a good explanation for this. I do? This isn't a dead end, but to go any further, I'm going to need you to undertake a ritual of sorts for me. Well, this certainly took a turn for the strange. Is this an example of the church's famous thaumaturgy? Something like that, yes. Specifically, I would like you to undertake a form of suggestion. I'm not sure I follow. You want us to promise not to tell anyone what we see here, right? That's a little extreme, so no. The colonel is obviously going to need to report what happened here to his superiors, for one thing. All I want you to promise is that you won't tell anyone who aren't certain you can trust. I don't need you to say this, I just need you to think and believe it. Weird, but alright. If that's all you want us to do, so be it. I feel the same way. Should we deliberately repeat it in our minds then? You don't even need to do that. It should just come completely naturally to you. Alright, here goes. In the name of she who dwells above, I hold this consecrated septium. Space, golden glow, consciousness, silver glow. By your opposing natures reveal to them the path that leads to your sacrament. Wow, how did that door appear? Thank you both for your assistance. I can see that you were true to your word. Ah, I see. So if we just said it but didn't really mean it, we wouldn't be able to see anything, right? And yet, I can hardly believe what happened. I imagine it would be uncouth of me to ask how this works. Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't. Anyway, come on in. Ooh. All 7 elemental powers around one big old artifact? Wow. Unbelievable. All these years I had no idea such a place lay hidden beneath Grancel Cathedral. Well, it's not exactly something we publicize. It was built in accordance with the agreement between the church and the royal family. It has but one purpose: to suppress the power of ancient artifacts and keep their influence in check. Ah, I see. Its importance to you Gralsritter is quite clear then. I'd assume there are similar ones in place at others than Liberl too. Well, I won't deny it. Anyway, we call this place a primal ground. Now there's a deep name, if I ever heard one. It's the original ground the others are based on in Etheria? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, I'm not confirming anything. I was just thinking about how much you take after the other Professor Russell, that's all. I think you not to associate me with him. He might trump me a little in theoretical side of things, but when it comes to the practical side of Aureole science, I could beat him in my sleep. And I was the one who designed the fundamental systems of the Capelle and the RSA, you know? Really? Nice. But I think we're getting off topic here. So, what artifact are we here for? This is the object in question, right? It's correct. It was pulled up 3 days ago from the area where the Liberl Ark sank. We believe it to be an artifact. 3 days prior, roughly at the center of Valeria Lake. Where the Liberl Ark sank. Damn! Sun going down already, huh? If this part turns out to be a bust, we're probably gonna have to call it quits for the day. We can only hope. Professor Russell is certain that this is the area where we should be looking. Yep, and if he says it's here, it's here. Unfortunately, as you know, Valeria Lake's about as deep as a lake can be. Depending on how small the thing we're looking for is, actually finding it could be a real task and a half. Is it likely to be small though? The Aureole reading suggests we're dealing with quite a large object, I believe. I wouldn't judge its size based off those. Ah, Professor. Oh, hey there, kiddo. Finished getting us a new estimated location? Just about. I'd be really swell if you knocked it off with kiddo though. I'm not sure it's the most appropriate way to address a married woman, much less one who already popped out the child. Sorry, but old habits die hard, you know? Hard to make the switch when you've been calling you that since you were about knee-high. Well, I'll let you off this time. Back to work. Can you ask your subordinates to stand down for the time being, Colonel? Is this the spot then? Where you're able to calculate exactly where the object is? Give or take an arch, but yes. Judging by the readings, what we're trying to pull off isn't all that big either. Probably about 50 reg, maybe even less. Are you serious? I thought we'd be dealing with a real monster, not something the size of Antoine. Jan? Still, if it does turn out to be an artifact, this could get problematic. Unfortunately, the church isn't going to want to let us keep it, that's for sure. I really cannot stand them. No matter how hard you work to get your hand on something, the second it turns out to be an artifact, they swoop on in with their God-given right to have it. Ticks me off. Easy there, easy there. We don't know for sure that this is even an artifact yet. Regardless, I'll pass on the message to my subordinates right away. I'll leave the rest of it to you, Gustav. Ah, you got it. Let's see what we are dealing with, yeah? Such a long story bit. Okay, that's the spot. Go on ahead. Yes, ma'am. Beginning the salvage operation. That sounds like this fills me with dread. Oh, does the salvage crane sound like it's in poor condition to you? Oh, that's not really what I meant. I just can't bring myself to like artifacts, you see. We can't explain how they have the power they do, but they have it. And it should not come as something we can ignore either. As a researcher, I can barely imagine anything more frustrating, even when we can't help but to be captivated by them. We are well aware that any attempt to solve their mysteries is pointless. I see. When you put it that way, I can understand to a degree how you must feel. Half a year has passed since all the chaos came to an end, and on the surface, we're back to normal. But even now, we still don't know what truly happened here, or what signified. Yeah, not that I were here to see it all happen, of course. The arm reached the bottom of the lake. I'm gonna attempt to grip the object. This is one of those missions that there should be someone down there to actually handle it, getting it into the claws. Swing and a miss. Moving 30 right to the right. There we go. Yep, we got it. Want me to put it up? Please do. The moment of truth, huh? Here we go. Is it gonna be something important? Or an actual monster with it? What? Oh my. I see. Still looking at it. Correct. There were Aureole readings coming from the artifact we found it, but not anymore. And I'm sure I need to spell out the significance of that, do I? No, it's plain as day why decide to stay and wait for me now. If an artifact has lost its power, it's exempt from the traditional agreement governing them. Doesn't need to be given to the church, that's it. You already understand me so well. We could cut right to the chase then. The Aureole reading disappeared just before we handed the artifact over to the cathedral, as it happens. It is currently being looked after here, but the formal procedures to transfer ownership have yet to be completed, making it a real legal odor unclear. So in your expert opinion, what should be done here? This is a tricky one. I'm assuming Liberl wants to assert ownership of it in this scenario. If anything, it's a professor here who wants to do that. I'm merely here accompanying her as a representative of the royal army. The only reason it's not lying at the bottom of Valera Lake right now is because of the CF's salvage efforts. I say we have every right to keep it personally. From what I've heard, it's completely impossible to analyze an artifact that's no longer active. I do not see how it would be of any use to your research as it stands like this. But you're sure you want it that badly? Absolutely. We're talking about an object found at the site of where a massive flying city used to be. I might not have seen it happen, but it sounds like everything we thought we knew about the world was more or less proven wrong. You know, by the truth that you people in the church have kept hidden for the past, I don't know, like 1,000 years? As for Ouroboros group, they don't make much more sense than you guys. The more I hear about their advances in technology, the less I can work out how they is even possible. I don't know what the truth is or what has really happened here in this land, but I can only stand by and feign disinterest in knowing the answers anymore. So, I'm going far from alone. So long as there's a slightest chance that artifact could shed light on all of what I want to know, I want it. I think you made your point, Professor. It's not as though interrogating him will achieve anything. True enough. Well, you've heard what I've got to say. It's now up to you to tell us what you're going to do. Will you hand over that lump of metal, or won't you? Well, that brief hesitation was all it took for a spawn of great evil. The squire. Who's she? No way. It crawled through the fields, ran through the hills, and spread disease in the skies above. An excerpt from the Book of Ezer. Disaster Unleashed. I apologize for the delay in coming, Father Graham. My name is Ries Argent, and I'm a squire of the Gralsritter. I look forward to working under you. I didn't think we'd end up having more company. Wait a second. Is something the matter? So that's how they think they can get me, is it? But they can't just bribe me so easily. I'm better than that. Maybe I underestimated the Gralsritter. They think they can break my will to fight by sending a girl like me, you on my way, do they? I'm not gonna go down so easily because I've got a secret weapon of my own. Behold, the most powerful force in the universe. Isn't that... That's Tita, isn't it? How cute. Isn't she? Isn't she? I bet you just want to jump into this photo and squeeze her like a stuffed toy right now, don't you? I should know a cutie patootie like you would be able to appreciate the same qualities in others. Anyway, that's why no matter how freaking adorable you may happen to be, you can't take me down, because I've got a natural immunity. I beg your pardon, but I'm afraid I really am not following. You keep saying that someone is cute, but are you referring to me? Who else would I be talking to? You're got such an aura of maturity about you, and yet your features still have that irresistible trace of innocence to them. And then they threw you into a sister habit to complement it all, like a cherry on top. That's the most flattering habit I've ever seen. If I didn't have my protective field, I'd be in real danger here. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm just saying. Might I require to the identity of the people with you, Father Graham? Oh, sure. The lady's Professor Erica Russell of the ZCF, while the gentleman is Lieutenant Colonel Sid of the Royal Army. Seriously though, Father Graham? Really? Ah, so you've the people who initially discovered the artifact then. Thank you for your cooperation in our work. We will take over looking after it from here on out. That'll be all. What the? What? Oh, hold on a minute. We hadn't even finished deciding what to do with it yet. Perhaps not, but my intention was to save you the time and effort required to do so by making the correct judgment myself. Whether it has lost power or not, that is no ordinary artifact. It is potentially related to one of the Septarians. I'm surprised you even humored the option of letting outsiders take custody of it. I mean... well, you sure know how to pick a fight. And go on then. What legal basis do you have for taking it from us? The agreements with the church quite clearly say that artifacts that have lost their power are exempt from the usual rules. I have no legal basis, but you have no more of it for keeping it. If you're following the agreement to the letter, no one is allowed to assert ownership of an inactive artifact. It belongs to neither you nor me. It is simply an abandoned object with no owner whatsoever. What? So all you got is, I don't need a reason, it's mine and that's final? To put it bluntly, yeah. Well, if that's how you want to play it. What's your take on this, Kevin Graham? Well, by all means. Me? I thought I'd been kicked out of this conversation. But, well, I can't say I don't want to take back the Arteria with us. But after all the help Liberls has been giving us, I feel kind of bad just snatching it from them without even giving them a valid reason. Both arguments have a degree of merit, but neither is clearly more correct. I'm not quite sure how you solved this one. You do know that you're smack dab in the middle of this too, right? Whoa. My. That is some incredible aura, isn't it? What is it? Why do you both look so surprised? What do you mean, why? Did two of you not hear that? Hear what? Wait a... Oh. It's no longer inactive. There it is, the cube. All powerful and released. Wow. Oh, no way. That thing wasn't giving off any orbital readings at all anymore. Zero. Zip. Why is it suddenly active again? I believe that silhouette... silhouette. That settles our dispute. It sure does. So the real artifact was inside, huh? I've never seen quite one like it. It looked like a box of some kind, or a cube maybe. Oh. I'd like to thank you two for your cooperation in the recovery of this artifact. In accordance with the pact of the church, I, Kevin Graham, will be assuming custody of it from here on out. You and all who aided you have the Septian Church's deepest appreciation. Phew, I thought we were never gonna escape. Erica sure doesn't know when to quit. Well, that's a kind way of putting it. You couldn't believe what I was hearing right at the end though. Just at the thought she maxed out her crazy talk to spew, she goes and shouts, "Well, if you're going to be taking that, then I'll be taking her." I thought Annalise was one of a kind cuteness freak, but she might actually have some stiff competition. Annalise? Oh, sorry. She's the girl I met while I was here last time. She's a bracer about your age, I think? Oh. Ries? Yes? You're not mad at me, are you? For not keeping in touch with you. Father Graham, yes? 5 years is a long time. Just as you have changed and progressed in rank significantly during those years, so have I. The Ries Argent standing before you is a squire of the Gralsritter, not the girl you once knew. I am here to serve and protect you, no matter what. Ah, come on, Ries. You need not concern yourself with how I feel. If you don't treat me as a subordinate, then there is little reason for me to be here serving you. And with that talk out of the way, we need to board the last international liner out of Grancel, don't we? We should start making our way to the landing port. Wait a sec. Was that your... It was a figment of your imagination. You seem to be tired, Father Graham. I see no other explanation as to why you are hearing sounds that clearly do not exist. I think you ought to try and have some rest when we reach the airship. Ah, she heard it too. As I was saying, I think you ought to try and have some rest. Don't even try and tell me that one was my imagination. Man, for a second I thought you'd changed, but you haven't. Not one bit. You're still the same perpetually hungry Ries, I remember. Oh, this isn't just a simple philosophical phenomenon. My lack of control is proof that I still have plenty of training ahead of me. I can only apologize for my own ability. Since when did you not being able to turn off your stomach become something you need to apologize for? Besides, I wouldn't have it any other way. You're forever gonna be the girl who was always caught sneaking into the kitchen and trying to stuff her face to me. I'll be going on ahead. Hey, wait a sec. You're on my way. Please move. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to push your luck. I just was carried away thinking of old times, that's all. You have no reason to apologize. Nor do I see any point in doing so, because there are few things in this world that carry less weight than one of your apologies. Damn. Finally biting back, huh? Well, while I was only got a 50-50 chance of you listening to me, you can knock it off with the Father Graham, or even Father for that matter. For what reason? I don't know. if you're doing it because you feel like you have to or because you want to act all distant, but there's no way I can get used to it, like ever. It weirds me out. So, please? Call me Kevin, same as you always did. What if I refuse? Then I'll beg you until you change your mind. I'll get down on my knees if I have to. You certainly would. Well, you know what to say. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I know it's been a while since, but I'm way too set in my ways now. The one left me. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Oh, it was nothing. Still, I can't very well refuse an order from my superior, so... Oh, no. You're not playing that game. It's not an order, it's a favor. Very important distinction. You're so selfish, Kevin. There we go. That's what I wanted. But just so we're clear, even if I've changed how you address your... The fact that I am your subordinate hasn't changed in the slightest. Don't forget that. Yeah, I know. We can talk like we used to, but there's no way to turn back the clock to the way things are. Oh, and one more thing. We've still got some time until the last airship leaves, so how about we head over to the department store to the east block? We can grab you something to eat. I like the sound of that. I propose buying all the bread they have left. I didn't know that you were that hungry. Really? Do we get to do anything ourselves, or else I'm just gonna cut it? Oh, I thought you were joking when you said you were going to buy everything they had left. The girl behind the counter looked like she thought you were a freak of nature. Well, this is just another example of ideas divine providence. It's better than they're brought by someone who intend to consume them than to have poor things throw away. Yeah. You're a bleeding heart, but that much. I hope you're not spending your entire salary on food. I'll have you know that you have nothing to worry about. There are a few people in this world who know how to make better use of sales and specials offers than I. Well, whatever makes you happy. It's not my business how you blow your mirror at the end of the day. Still, well, I give you that my getup is right up the top of suspicious charge, but I'm pretty sure that anyone would be confused if a woman in a sister habit came wandering into the shop after dark to buy out the leftovers. Oh, stop your grumbling. And it's almost time for us to leave. We should make our way to the landing port. I'm not sure how much longer my stomach can wait. Yes, ma'am. Is something... Sorry. The stomach of yours is going to have to wait a little longer. Unforgivable. I don't know who this fiend is, but as long as I don't kill them, I can go as far as I like, right? I sympathize, but you might want to calm down a little. Still, whoever they are, they're quite good at taming people. Quite. I doubt they have much experience. They do seem to have undergone some degree of training, however. Yeah. Oh well. Sad to say, but we're going to have to skip today's last airship out of here. Do you know of a good place to strike? Oh, I do. You know the perfect place. Alright. Gilbert? No, it can't be. It is! Mr. Blorf! Welcome back. You know what? The episode is going on for quite some time. So I'm gonna have a hard cut right here. And next time we'll continue where we have left off. Because I have no indicator when we'll have control back ourselves once again. And since we're almost reaching 1.5 hours, I want to leave it here for a little bit. So, next time we continue this conversation, seeing what's going on with Gilbert, if he's still part of Ouroboros, or if he's trying to get away from them and doing things his own way. But for that, you'll need to wait till next time. Until then, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we see what's going on with Gilbert. Bye bye.